Chukma, Chukma, everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Hello. We're about to get started, and in order to do so, we're going to start off with a prayer. So right now, we're going to go ahead and ask Theta Newbreast to come up here and offer a prayer for us. And I just want to say once again, welcome to the 14th Annual Two-Spirit Powwow, but more importantly, welcome to celebrating 26 years of Bay Area American Indian Two-Spirits. Give it up for BAAITS. Yes. Oh, there's stairs over here.
Well, Oki and Blackfoot means my spirit is really, really happy to meet your spirit. And Nistu in Blackfoot is I am. Nidoniko means my name. Is Mokoyo Sukoyi. It's my second Blackfoot name. And it's because I had a dream where I was half wolf and I was half human. And so Mokoyo, that word means wolf. But Mokoyo Sukoyi means wolf's trail, and that's how we call the Milky Way. And a majority of our people believe that as many stars in the sky is how many interpretations of gender there are. So I just wanted to, it's an honor. It's such an honor, Angel. We say our hand to our heart. It's been a busy week, and I know some of you have just flown in, and some of you are eating really. What about the food? And I know you prayed, so I'm just going to pray some in my language. But I'll do that, and then it's good for us to interpret, eh? You know, I know there's magical things that I would wish that we all spoke each other's language. You know. Yes, thank you. So, Hayo Stipatipi. Hayo Ninna. Hayo Napi Natusi. Hayo Akita Biwa. No Gakimokit no Gaspumukit. Hayo Stipatapi. Spumukana Aloni people. Hayo Stipatapi. Spumukana the 87 rancherias in California. Hayo Stipatapi. Spumukana all of the 574 tribes in the United States. Ayos Japatapi, Spumukana, the 610 First Nations, Métis, Northwest Territory. Ayos Japatapi, Spumukana, the Alaskan Natives. Ninda, we ask all of the Aboriginal people, all of the Maori people. We ask all of the people who believe in the condor prophecy when the condor meets the eagle and comes together for the people. Hayo Ninna Spumukana Moto Geeks, Buffalo Women's Society. Hayo Stipatapi Spumukana Kami Poismanix, Women's Stand-Up Headdress Society. Hayo Stipatapi Spumukana Ganaxtimata Brave Dogs Society. Hayo Stipatapi, we come, Stipatapi translates your maker who comes when you take your first breath and it follows you all your life till you take your last breath. It's about to be, I just want prayers for everyone in this room, in this entire, the tables and outside, and especially our houseless relatives, our relatives who don't have a house or can't pay the rent, that I ask that we all have prosperous, abundant, healthy lives, that we live a long, long time. I just ask, Creator, if you could be with us this week, kicking off right now. Woohoo! Creator, we just want to celebrate. We want to have lateral kindness, lateral forgiveness. And not too much bitching and complaining, please, Creator. We just ask that you come and you enter into our being and allow us to laugh, to have joy, because it is our birthright to thrive and to live joy. It's Shabbat to be. We just ask you to come in here as we kick off this 25 years with all of our elaborate diversity here and all of our Devo diversity here. So with that, Creator, we just humbly before you ask you to pity us. No gaikimokit, no gaspomokit. And so Anya, and that's kind of like, that's all, folks. Thank you. I'll use the stairs.
Thank you. All right, at this time, we're calling up James Eagle, please. Or should I call you just Jim? Jim, right? Okay, Jim. I'm trying to be very formal. Yes, they're on this side. If anyone's coming up onto the stage, there's stairs over on this way here. You don't have to jump up. I'm a lady. This is yours.
So, welcome everybody. My name is Jim Eagle, and I am the current chair of BAAITS. And my pronouns are he, him. I'm also an enrolled member of the Sisseton Wahpeton Oyate of the Dakota people of the Sioux Nation. I'm also a child of adoption. Having been taken away from the reservation, I had a twin brother as well. We were both adopted off the reservation back in the 60s. So this is prior to the Indian Child Welfare Act of the 1970s, which actually stopped those adoptions from happening. But my brother and I were prior to that. I just want to take a few minutes to talk about the current situation that many of us are facing personally, professionally, and administratively. And some of those are overlapping as well for a lot of us. We're all aware of what has transpired this week and the impacts it's having on all of us. In this room in particular. I know, standing here, we have immigrants, natives, elderly, disabled, and of course LGBTQ plus people and Two-Spirit people. Having said that, this is not the first time those groups, sometimes individually and sometimes collectively, have had to fight oppressors, political machines, authoritarians, treaty breakers, and liars. Our ancestors knew this well, and now it's our turn. Just a little history. After the Indian Removal Act of 1830, sorry to go so far back, and prior to the Doors Act of 1887, natives could not leave their reservations. We were not allowed to leave the reservations unless, in very few instances, you had a passbook, right? And that passbook had to be signed and authorized by your colonizers of whatever state you were in, so that you were not detained. This week, I've been making it a point to carry my state ID and my tribal ID, which is here in my wallet, together on my persons at all times when I'm outside my house. This is in case I'm stopped by government agents or ICE and need to prove my citizenship. Last part again, need to prove my citizenship. Many of us here are doing this now, and BAAITS this week had to issue travel advisories to our people who are coming to our powwow to present and dance so that they wouldn't be detained. This is abhorrent and evil. My own tribe has responded to the actions and threats made by our colonizers. They are already joining up with other nations and native groups to politically fight what is conceivably another war. Politically. These are not my opinions. These are facts. They are happening and they are historical. okay? This is not my opinion. These have already happened. We all know this. But we indigenous know about being subjected to lies and evil legal tricks. We will get through this. The colonizers have been using legal subterfuge for decades. In 1952, the federal government created the Urban Relocation Program, and I've spoken on this before, which encouraged American Indians to move off the reservations and into urban centers, such as Chicago, Denver, Los Angeles, Oakland, and San Francisco were part of it. They were lured by the hope of a better life, but for many, that promise never materialized. They used that program to dump many Native Americans into cities and leave them without resources that lasted more than a month once they were relocated. This included promises of jobs, places to live, and monies, which never materialized or materialized very small, very little. We are all aware of these lies, and now we are aware and need to prepare for the forthcoming ones. More lies are coming. We know this. More lies are coming, and I need us to be ready. My friend, sitting way back there, and fellow tribal member, Lenny Hayes, told me today that he does work with violence prevention. He does work with a lot of tribes on a lot of different subjects, but one of them primarily is violence prevention. And it's no longer being funded by this current administration. He lost 4 out of 5 projects in one day. All right? Yeah. So these actions are having very real consequences. A few weeks ago, a gay male named Paul Donovan with the UBS Bank, which is the national bank in Switzerland, I believe, in Europe, who was their chief economist, he came out with a list of 4 things that LGBT people need to do under this current administration. And he wasn't necessarily talking to only the United States, because he's in Switzerland. He was talking to the world of what LGBT people needed to do. And one of those, he wanted LGBTQ plus people to put aside enough money and savings, in other words, in case they had to leave their area of the world, okay? Because there was so much homophobia starting to uprise and transphobia starting to uprise, he wants to make sure his fellow gay and lesbian people are prepared, and that if they need to leave their country, who knows, it could be this one, they would be prepared by having enough savings. Is this where we are today? Let's all leave here today and after the powwow with thoughts of what needs to be done to stop the homophobia, the transphobia, and hate toward immigrants. What are we not doing? What are other groups doing? How come churches are silent? What is the largest protest we can all do collectively in one movement? Let's all think about these things. I don't have the answers, okay? I don't. Enough about that part. I do want to speak a little bit on the 25th anniversary now. I want to add a lot is saying about how BAAITS began. And we'll be giving out blankets to our original founders, who we're very incredibly grateful to. But I do want to speak, and then I know that Angel will speak a little bit more on it, but I wanted to tell you about 2 people in particular that I thought brought BAAITS into the nonprofit agency, made us become an agency. And one of those people is, and I don't think she's here, is Amelia Vigil. And she's not here. She was our contractor, executive director, and she wrote our first contract that was able to get us money with I think it was a grant or a contract? I can't remember. Anyway, she wrote it, we got money, and that was able to enable us to hire an executive director, a real one, to take us down the road. And I'd like to give, if you could just give her an applause, Amelia Vigil. The second person that I want to talk about is Angel Fabian, and his contributions. He took what Amelia did, and then he multiplied it. He took our foundation, our little bit of base that we had, and he multiplied it like a little locomotive going down the road. We are nonstop, and he has tenfolded our monies. He has made connections with people, and he's brought BAITS. He's bringing BAITS into our nonprofit status, our 501c3 status, and we hope to have that sometime this year. So if you could give him a hand. Incredible work. All right. I want you to enjoy the 25th anniversary. I want you to enjoy our powwow, and please let's work on all those things that we talked about. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Right now, I just want to bring everyone's attention to one thing. You know, indigenous people, what are they most known for? They're known for being warriors, right? Right? Is that correct? I'm correct, right? Primarily warriors, right? Let's applaud that. Yes. And what happens when you bring a whole bunch of warriors into one group? There's going to be fights, right? So before we even start, I want to go ahead and honor those people who have served as co-chairs for BAITS, because they are the ones that have had to keep the groups together during really tough times. There's a few people that can't be here, but they sent their greetings. Rope Wolf and Ken Harper. But give it up for Derek Smith. Derek, stand up. Roger Kuhn. All right. Ruth Villasenor. Amelia was also our one of our co-chairs too, and I also served as co-chair. So give it up for me, yes. Thank you. Oh, that's so sweet. All right, thank you so much. Thank you so much. You can be seated. So if you want to talk about the fights and the wars that happen, just go ahead and talk to them. We've been productive in so many different ways. But of course, we could not have been quite as productive if it had not been for our founders and our allies. Because our founders got us started, but our allies really kept us going. So even when we did our very first Two-Spirit powwow, we had so many allies that came and helped us that year. I was wondering, could the original powwow committee please stand up too? I think I saw a few of you in the audience. The original powwow committee. Yes. Did I see Joshua here earlier too? He was a part of that as well. So, thank you. So yeah, so there's a lot that's went into BAITS over the years. We've had many different things. Before we ever had the powwow, let me tell you, we had so many different events. We had potlucks that were on the monthly, and this building that we're standing in was where the first powwow was, but more than that, BAITS contributed to it getting built as well. And if you want to see evidence of that, you can go downstairs on the first floor and you'll see our name. We were one of the first community groups that were here in the LGBT Center, and we were the last community group to get kicked out of the community center. Thank you, LGBT Community Center. But I'm grateful. I am grateful forever and always. So right now, we're going to have our honoring. And we're going to bring up our board, our current board. Please come up. All board members, please come up. At this time, I also want to recognize some of our original founders who are not here with us today. Sally Ramon, who is on the poster for BAITS, one of the original founders, is on a journey elsewhere. And now I also want to give it up for Ken Harper and Laura Opressa, who were two people that signed the first paperwork. Oh, Laura sent a statement. Let me read it. Okay. Laura says this. Thank you. Okay, I just want to let everybody know, when we, to keep our program running, we probably won't be having many more statements. But I'm going to read this one. Okay. Thank you to BAITS for this acknowledgement. I'm heartbroken that I couldn't be there with you all. I had to cancel my trip this morning. You're here 25 years later. You are beautiful. You are loved. You are my people. I recall those first BAITS meetings 25 years ago. We were just forming a group and planning to host the International Two-Spirit Gathering. As with all groups, this is really long. As with all groups, I love Laura, but as with all groups, there are always challenges. What stands out most for me, though, are the times when we were together. The laughter, the stories, the shared meals, the powwow. Most of all, I remember feeling safe and the freedom for all of us to be ourselves. And all of you, by continuing BAITS, are keeping the vision alive. Thank you to each and every one of you. For those of you who don't know me, my full name is Laura Opressa Platero, Platero. And I am a citizen of the Navajo Nation. I am also the executive director of the Northwest Portland Area Indian Health Board, a tribal organization serving the tribes in Oregon, Washington, and Idaho with 120 employees. I am sad to share that with the president's executive orders that just rolled out, a majority of my organization's funding is under review. With this uncertainty on my organization and staff, I had to cancel my travel, which is why I couldn't be there with you. I've dedicated my life to Indian health policy and advocacy. It's something that I believe we all have a role in, especially as our existence is being challenged. My message to you all is, keep up the important work that you do. Keep BAITS a safe haven for us, and keep up the fight. As I've heard many tribal leaders say to me in the past few days, we've been here before. We'll get through it. Keep focused, keep strong. You cannot be erased. I hope to see you all sometime soon. My love and prayers to you all, Laura. At this time, we're going to go ahead and unfold one of our beautiful blankets here. Just one, just one. We'll present them all a little bit later on. Yes, this is by Michael Horse. From the first Two-Spirit powwow that we held right here in this room. The first Two-Spirit powwow right here in this room. At this time, we're going to call up Gene Hightower and Morningstar Vasil. Just two blankets. Yeah, they're gonna come up. You stay. All right. And Gene Hightower, the first spokesperson for BAITS. And really and truthfully, if it wasn't for Albert Ortiz and Gene Hightower, we would not have BAITS today. So thank you. At this time, I'm actually going to call up Debbie and Mary Jean. Debbie, Mary Jean, and Johnson Livingston. Who's going to speak?
Morning Star. Yes. Oh, here. To my dear friend Morning Star, you have done a lot for the city, for the community, for the Two-Spirit community as well. Always out there striving what is necessary, and the work that you have done for Bates is absolutely fabulous. You know, and thank you for being part of the American Indian Advisory Council. Yes. And just being there with your voice really works so wonderful. So we thank you. This is from your village that I bought from one of the Filipino.
Oh my God, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you. We, as American Indians, citizens, represent every race on the planet. We are citizens, not a racial group. And it's really important to remind people we are political people, we are sovereign people, and we are not a race.
Yeah. And also at this time, the American Indian Cultural District wants to honor for your work and all that you have done within the community. And they are honoring you this with this Pendleton blanket.
Oh my.
This is the Two-Spirit blanket from 8th generation.
Yeah, it's the 8th generation blanket, not a Pendleton.
It is a Two-Spirit blanket.
Two-Spirit blanket from 8th generation.
Thank you.
We don't do Pendletons around here.
Thank you so much. At this time, we're going to bring up our two allies, please. Please remain so we can get a picture of everyone together. Yeah. Please stay on stage. Right now, we're going to go ahead and honor Aurora. And we're going to call up Gilbert. Do I see Gilbert? There's Gilbert. Come on up. The stairs are this way. Aurora Gilbert, we'd also like to honor you with these blankets as well. And if we can get a picture of us, and can we please bring up Derek, all of our former chairs. Oh, where is Javi? Javi should have came up earlier, right? Derek? Oh, Amelia, there you are. Come on up. Come on up. If we could just get a picture now of all of us together. Ruth, come a little more towards the front. You're a little short. Now we have one more thing. At this time, we're going to turn it over to Aurora to do an honor song. So please, everybody, please stand. Thank you to all of our awardees and allies. Thank you. And board, you can leave the stage. We're about to have a presentation now. Aurora, before you exit, can you just wait for just one moment? I know. I'm sorry. I'm moving this along. You know, we're right on time, right?
I will be really quick. Can you hear me now? Okay. I just really wanted to share something and just honor my sister here, Aurora, and just say thank you so, so much. When I think about our allies and just how Bates has worked really closely with our allies throughout the years, I would encourage all of you to continue to do that because they are who hold us throughout community. They are the ones who speak for us many times when we are not there. And Aurora, you have just been so amazing and really, really throughout the years held our community. And Aurora and I did HIV counseling, and we used to say we worked out in the fields for probably, 10 or more years, and you just are such an amazing person, and you continue to be, and I definitely feel like we all as a community should look at our role models, whether they are Two-Spirit or not, and the work that they do, and that's how we'll continue to survive and be strong, is to work together and see how our community can work together. And I love you so much for all that you've done, and I admire you so much, and really congratulations on your new job, right? What, you're the director? What are you, the wellness?
Oh no, I'm just the program manager.
Oh, Jack. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone.
We are defying Native stereotypes by being on time tonight. We are now bringing up our next presenter. This next presenter I met many years ago, like about 23 years ago, I think, at a gathering that NAPSI put on, the Native American AIDS Prevention Center, many, many years ago. And I remember it was the first time that my partner had attended a sweat lodge. And one of the things that he told him was like, you're in for a time, a real hard time. And I appreciate that because that's how you grow, right? Right now, we're bringing to the stage Florentine Blue Thunder.
Good evening. Good evening. Is it on? Can you hear me? Okay. Well, good evening, everyone, and what a blessing, a privilege, and an honor to be here with you all. And
Just put it real close to your mouth.
Anyway, I'm happy to be here with you all and share a little bit of my background. And I want to say a big thank you to Gene Hightower for making it possible, throwing my name in the hat to be with you all this evening, and to Angel for making it possible for me to make it here to be with you all. And I want to thank Land O'Lakes for being a great friend since I first came out here. And I came to the powwow, and first time I was I dressed up as a crow princess. Hey. And then when I came 2 years ago, I dressed up as a Southern Straight. And anyway, I decided to, I like that. So, but at this time, I have a presentation to make to the group here. I make star quilts, and when I was told that I was invited, I wondered what I could bring to the table. Lakotaway, my grandmother, our old people, they always tell us, don't go to the table empty-handed. Show your thanks and appreciation for the gift that is in your hands. So I make star quilts, so if you would come and help me, Land Lakes don't go far. I have a presentation for you for the group. If you would come forward, please. Yes, no. That's to the group. Maybe they could use it for a raffle or give it to somebody or at their disposal. But that's what I learned from my mother, my grandmother. They did a lot of sewing, and we did a lot of giveaways. And that's the way we express our love and appreciation for what we've been blessed with. And so that was what I could do to show my thanks and appreciation to the group for having me here this evening. To begin with, I wanted to sing a prayer song as well. If you would all stand with me at this time. O mawani wa mayanka yo, hoi. Now you hum it with me. Tukashila wa mayanka yo, apetukile oshi malayo, makayakan. O mawani wa mayanka yo, now sing it with me. Tukashila wa mayanka yo, apetukile oshi malayo, makayakan. O mawani wa mayanka yo, you can do better than that. Okay, let's give it our fourth try. Tukashila wa mayanka yo, apetukile oshi malayo, makayaka o mawani wa mayanka yo. In closing, raise your hands to the Creator. Tukashila wa mayanka yo, apetukile oshi malayo, makayakan o mawani wa mayanka yo, mitakuye oyasi. All my relatives, hug yourself. Tell yourself, say, I love you. I accept you. Creator meant for me to be here. Mitake oasi, all my relatives.
So at this time, we're going to bring up our next speaker. Our next speaker is going to be talking about growing up Two-Spirit. It's always good to have youth come in and be able to give us a good presentation. So come on up, introduce yourself and your tribal nation.
Bonjour. Can y'all hear me? Bonjour giwaden indigena kaz makwan indun dame gazaga squajame kag ijena kazo ishkanagan. Hi, my name is Giwaden, which means North Wind in Ojibwe, and I'm from the Bear Clan, and I'm also from Leech Lake Reservation in northern Minnesota. I like to introduce myself in Anishinaabe-Moan because it makes me feel at ease when in front of a bunch of people, because I normally speak to my phone like this all of the time, and so it's a little different to speak to a room of people. But I wanted to first start with gratitude and an acknowledgement. I'm thankful to be here with you all and celebrate the 25th anniversary of BAAITS. Miigwech, thank you to Jean, to Angel and Morningstar for coordinating with me to get me out here. I'm honored to be on the lands of the Ohlone peoples as a guest visiting from my own homelands in the Midwest, Anishinaabe-Yaking. The work that BAAITS and other organizations like this does and has done is so important and foundational to where we are in decolonizing our tribal communities and the imported ideologies of homophobia and transphobia and showing that we are still here. I wanted to talk a little bit about the importance of getting together, and it's more important now more than ever to ensure that we are in community and to be in spaces like this where we have the opportunity to be joyous despite the state of the world and all of the scary things happening to us and our relatives. From attacks on our trans and LGBTQ plus relatives to our relatives who the borders crossed, our relatives who are being separated from their ancestral lands and separated from their families. The Trump administration has been enacting some awful things that are meant to hurt us, dehumanize us, and make us disappear. That will not happen. We've been here since the so-called United States was founded, and we are here now. He has been enacting assaults on every marginalized community, and we must resist him and all that he stands for. Resistance can be joy. Our existence is resistance, not just as natives, but as natives who are Two-Spirit, natives who are indigiqueer, natives who are lesbian, gay, bisexual, trans, queer, etc. We know long ago there was an attempt to erase the existence of people like us here in this room. Those attempts were unsuccessful, and their attempts even now will be. I am scared, and I'm sure a lot of us are, but it's important to have these moments of joy because it fuels us to keep us going, to keep caring, and to keep fighting. So I'm thankful to be here with everyone, and this is so important to share space with everyone here. Now I wanted to talk a little bit about myself and just share what I do and who I am. I'm a Two-Spirit water protector who some call an environmentalist, an activist, an influencer. I don't really like that word. But I'm just a raggedy ass, and can I say ass? Okay. I'm a raggedy ass Indian from the reservation in the Midwest, Leech Lake Reservation. And I say Indian like Indian collective, not Indian. But I just wanted to talk about my experiences growing up Two-Spirit on the reservation in rural Turtle Island. I won't lie and say it was a breeze because our communities have been touched by colonialism and the beliefs central to colonization of homophobia, transphobia, and just the gender binary. So even though I got bullied by some res kids when I was a kid, my family and others were accepting. When I was a young one, my grandparents and mom got me Ariel dolls because I was obsessed with The Little Mermaid. And you're gonna love this even more. And they also let me wear princess dresses for Halloween. I remember the pink Princess Aurora dress I was able to wear for Halloween and just how happy that made me feel as a little kid, and all of my aunties calling me their little kinky boy. I believe this acceptance in my family was because even though my family is maybe not traditional all the time in the sense of going to ceremony or we went to powwow, but a lot of my family does struggle with substance use and alcoholism, and that is something that is prevalent across all communities, but more so, or not more so, but prevalent on the reservations, and my family still held on to those traditions, though, of acceptance and love for people like me and people like us. Anishinaabe-Moan, my people's language, is gender neutral, and we have 15 or so gender terms in our language. I identify as Ekwe-Wataze, which is has the nature of, or to be feminine, but I like to joke with my friends that it means I'm a femboy. Yeah, I was 12 years old when my maternal grandmother told me I was two-spirit. I didn't quite know what she meant by that then, but I do now, and I'm so thankful to have been seen and accepted by my family. I found myself making videos on TikTok and then transitioned to Instagram a year ago to share about Ojibwe culture, indigenous and environmental issues, and queer indigenous history, acceptance, and joy. What mobilized me to use my platform for social change was a pipeline resistance happening in my home territories that I didn't even know about. I was freshly out of high school and already had been making videos when I found out about Line 3, a tar sands pipeline being put through Ojibwe Treaty territories and multiple water bodies, including the Mississippi River, which is the vein of Turtle Island, North America, and the headwaters of the Mississippi is in Minnesota, Makoche. I knew I could use my platform and my voice to raise awareness about what was going on, so I did, and I balanced that making videos and also being on the front lines when I didn't have class, because at the time I was just starting college. Being freshly out of high school and jumping into a movement taught me a lot, and I felt so much love and also hurt. I met people who had come from different states to resist the pipeline who found out about Line 3 from my videos on TikTok. Line 3 was completed in September 2021, and even though we were unsuccessful in stopping the construction, we built community, and we still have hope for defunding it, along with Line 5, which is owned and operated by the same company, Enbridge. They're based in Canada. I started making videos also on what it meant to be Two-Spirit, pointing towards historical figures who themselves were recorded to be what we would now call Two-Spirit, such as the Agokwe Ayakwe from my tribe, Oza Windib, which means yellowhead, with the hope that I would make more space for LGBTQ plus natives and raise awareness that we exist in our modern people. I keep almost trying to eat this microphone. I've been finding out that this work is so important, and I have stepped into a position of being looked up to by youth rather than being the youth looking up to others, which of course I still look up to my elders and to other queer icons and just everyone. I love Madonna, but I also love Lady Gaga. I hope that queer Native youth on and off the reservation, and youth in general, learn that it is okay to be different, and historically it was celebrated, and that we are returning to those traditions because we are sacred and we are decolonizing. And that's all I have for now, and I apologize for reading from my phone, but that makes it easier for me. I want to say Chimigwich, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. That's so beautiful, right? You know, one of the things I also want to do right now is I also want to recognize any royalty that's in the house. Is there any royalty in the house? Royalty? No royalty? Former royalty? Formers? There's some royalty back here. Over here. Oh. Royalty. Yes, royalty. All right. Let's give it up for our royalty. They really make the powwows beautiful. All right. Oh, did you see that? That was the wave back there. Yes. Those Navajo girls have it going on. All right. Do we have anyone that's formerly from the Gay American Indians, GAI? GAI, please stand up too. They started in 1975. The first LGBT Native organization, both in the United States and Canada. It's the first one, the very first one. I'd also like to remind everybody, too, that on Sunday, if you feel the need to... come on up here, Flo.
Anyway, Sunday morning, I believe we're going to do a prayer ceremony. We're supposed to do a sweat ceremony, but it's supposed to rain, so it's been going to be moved inside to have a prayer ceremony. And I understand due to the space there, it's going to be limited. So we're looking at about, 20 people, I think they said. But right off the bat, if Morning Star, you'll be there to help me. She's a fellow Sundancer, and we met up at one of the Sundances back home. And she knows how to help me with the women part. And so those of you that, we have a sign-up sheet here that with the email to tell you the final draft of how it's going to be done and everything. And I was really surprised to see one of my people from back home, and we called him Gibby. And his brother Bruce, Philip, they moved over here, and we always wondered what they were after. And Gilbert, and his brother Bruce, the girls were really after him. They had to run in the hallways to hide from the girls. And their brother Philip and I would tell them, give them the green light when to run. But they were really athletic, and they were really, they were into the culture, and I'm really happy to have met up with Gibby here. It was just a little piece of home. I really had an emotional moment because his brother Philip and I were, even in grade school, we were different. And his brother Philip used to beat me playing jacks. He was a playing jack winner all the time. He always skunked all of us. He had so many playing jack games I couldn't keep up with him. And his brother Philip, they were nice people, and they were comical. They were funny people. They always made us laugh. They were the life of the party. And in grade school, they were really pleasant people. And when we got into middle school, we separated. I went on my way, and they went on their way. And next thing I know, they came out here. But with that, it's a small, small world. And it's always a good feeling when we meet up with our own people and from home. But with that, I want to say a big thank you to the BAAITS, because at that first gathering that I came, we had a sweat ceremony, and I packed my pipe then, and we prayed that the BAAITS would come to fruition the world over. And in our area, I was sharing this afternoon, the BAAITS from here, it's splashed over into South Dakota because Buffy Musso, she had her powwow in Rapid City, and then we had another powwow in Sioux Falls. And so you people did a wonderful job over the years of, being true to yourself and persevering with what you believed in and how you carried that out, and it's a splash over. And I'm really grateful. And when I heard Buffy Musso was doing her powwow, I couldn't make it, but we had a sweat ceremony, and we prayed for her that people of our kind will finally have a place, have our time that we can enjoy who we are and can celebrate that without any persecution, without being dogged and belittled, as was mentioned. And so, anyway, I've really been honored and blessed by coming here and going home. And I mentioned that earlier this afternoon, that we have young people coming up that want to be in the two-spirit world, that identify, and we need mentors, we need spaces to encourage them and help them on their way to be who they are without persecution, without being belittled, not being bullied. And so we pray and appreciate the song that was sung earlier. It's a good song. It lifts the spirit. I mean, the language might be comical, but it lifts the spirit, and that's what it's about, as who we are as a people. And we come with that, and in different tribal ways in all my travels across Indian land, meeting Two-Spirit people, and put us in a room with 100 people, we gravitate to each other. And it's always, we're always laughing and joking and giggle like little schoolgirls at this one and that one, and he wears his jeans well and whatever. But anyway, I'm really grateful for BAAITS. I'm really happy that they've come this far and have done the world of wonder for our people. It was a small beginning. It was one small step, but you look at the mirror and see, I saw pictures on the wall this afternoon. The many, many people that have come the world over, from places near and far, from the sacred four directions, because that's where we come from, the sacred beings. And so it is that, like I say, we humbly prayed in that sweat ceremony that BAAITS would come to fruition, not just here, but abroad. And with that, I thank you, people, for doing a tremendous job.
Thank you. All right.
So Florentine is doing a prayer ceremony on Sunday morning from 10 to 12. We're not going to say where because we don't want any people to get flooded at this point. But I have with me a sign-up sheet, and if you're interested in coming, if you put your name and your email on here, he will send you things that you should know about before you come, like don't come drunk and stuff like that. Some of you know that. It's going to be San Francisco. It'll be from 10 to 12 on Sunday morning. So come catch me, and we'll get your name and email, and then I'll email. He told me to do the details. He'll do the ceremony. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Gene and Florentine. Now, I'm about to turn this over to talk about the present and future of BAAITS. Before we do so, I want to share something with you. Do you want me to share something with you? So, one of the people who comes to the BAAITS powwow each year worked really hard with the Veterans Affairs Department every year, right? And they pushed and they pushed, and they were able to open the Transgender Veterans Affairs Office. That's really great, right? Thanks for clapping, but with the new orders from Trump, it is now officially closed. It is now officially closed. As a veteran, I feel really awful for all those veterans who really needed that office to stay safe. I also want to bring up Alexander Post real quick. They want to say something to our community. For those who don't know who Alexander Hamilton Post is, it is the LGBT veterans.
You're almost correct. Hi, I'm Jimmy McConnell, and when my fellow veterans from Post 448, please stand up. Thank you. Alexander Hamilton Post 448 is the one and only recognized LGBTQ plus American Legion post in the whole country. Landa is a good friend of mine. She's a veteran. I met her a long time ago. Actually, I met her here. First time I met her here, I was going to the boys' room, and she's standing there, and and I thought, I knew I shouldn't have smoked that joint before I got here. But anyhow, I just want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, we are honored to be here with you. We get space for you in the Veterans Building for the, help me out, the American Indian Advisory Council, is that correct? Yeah, okay. So if you need some space, Landa's a veteran. We're veterans. Come see us. It's a big building. Guess what? It's your building too. You're Americans. We're veterans. We're working together, and that's what I love seeing here. Communities working together. We're going through some hell in the next 4 years, but like as you said, if we stand up together united, spread love, not hate, we're going to survive. Trust me, we will survive. I've been around for 72 years, and they ain't getting rid of me yet. We're going to be here to fight for you and anyone else that needs some help. So again, on behalf of the American Legion Post 448, we thank you, and we're honored to be here.
Thank you so much. And for those of you who are unaware, GAI, Gay American Indians, they have had many events held over at the Veterans at the Veterans Hall, thanks to Alexander Hamilton Post. So thank you. Are you ready now to hear about the present and the future of Bates? Let's hear it up for Angel.
Wow. Patiush. Nidala Angel Constantino Fabian Vera. Nidala Tlawis Papalot. Hello, relatives. My name is Angel Angel or Tlawis Papalot, which translates into butterfly of light. I use he, she, they pronouns, and my people are Benza or Beniza, which translates into people from the clouds, because that's our origin story, from the high mountains of Oaxaca, Mexico. And I get the great privilege of being the current executive director of BAITS. And it's been such an honor to be able to be part of this amazing legacy that you are all part of. Believe it or not, we would not be welcoming 4,000 to 5,000 of our closest relatives to the powwow without you all showing up. So you are as much as part of the essence of BAITS as the founders, as the co-chairs, as the current board, and as the current staff. So thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving me this opportunity to walk with you in a good way, in a humble way, in a grateful way. Where are we at as BAITS? As was spoken by Jim Eagle earlier this evening, we are currently in the process of becoming, finally, our own nonprofit. It's been 25 years in the making, y'all. But, I think that it needed to take that long, because I don't think that some of the beautiful community offerings could have been done, being a nonprofit status. I think that the freedom of being a volunteer-run organization meant that, it was a labor of love. And it has been a labor of love for a long, long time. And it continues as more folks connect with us and continue offering their gifts, to community. I'll quote Zamora, who was our first program manager. She states that she definitely, appreciated working for us as a program manager, but she was doing it for themselves. She was doing it for their own survival, for them to continue honoring who they were as an individual. And so it made it much easier to develop program and put it out in community and have these beautiful offerings. We currently have year-round programming aside from the powwow. If you're local, or if you soon are going to be local, please, if you decide to, whether you decide to stay and fight the good fight or relocate to the Bay Area, please connect with us. Please connect with us so that we can connect you to the appropriate services that you may be in need of to be able to make the landing a little bit easier and softer. There's a lot of community here in the Bay Area, so please do reach out. But we've been able to roll out year-round programming, including mini grants programs to support our local artists. Last year, we provided 10 $5,000 grants for folks to continue doing their artistry, as well as to, we funded cultural bearers. And last year, or this past year, we also funded around another 7. We have monthly talking circles. We have workshops. We have just gatherings and potlucks, just to break the isolation, because even in the urban environment, meaning the Bay Area, it can get very lonely, especially if you identify as indigenous. So we need to call people in. and share food together and talk and connect in those ways. And more than anything, I think that what has been very beautiful to see is our current connection to all the other Two-Spirit societies. Last year, and it's on our YouTube channel. If you haven't visited our YouTube channel, please go to our YouTube channel. All the amazing programming is there. But we had State of the Two-Spirit Movement panel last year, and where we were able to bring together leaders from the different Two-Spirit societies to share about their amazing work that they're doing in their respective communities and how we show up for one another, because no one else is going to do it, And so where are we heading? We're heading to becoming a nonprofit, hopefully opening up more opportunities to reach community. And we were just recently able to complete a community needs and assets assessment, needs and strengths assessment, where we ask community what's going well, and also what are some of the needs, current needs in community. So we have some very rich information and rich data that will guide some of the programming that we continue putting to community. And last but not least, and I think this is monumental for us as an organization, if you haven't had the opportunity to come to the community center, we now have a community center in the center of the American Indian Cultural District. 415 Valencia, we had a really wonderful conversation earlier today there. It's small, but it's enough. It's enough for now, for us, for what we are able to do and offer to community. I also want to plug, I don't know where I left them, but they're in that table. But we are now officially part of the American Indian Cultural District Advisory Board as an organization. And legacy organizations, which now we are considered a legacy organization, are invited onto that board. And what is happening right now is that we need community representation. So I have a form on that table, and I'll make available as you exit tonight's event, to be able to nominate cultural bearers and artists, and also Two-Spirit community, local community, to be part of that advisory body with the American Indian Cultural District. So please, if you're local or soon to be local, please fill those out, and you can leave them on that same table, and we'll make sure to get them to them. Last but not least, and to close, because we are trying to run on time. What does the future hold for us? I think that there are definitely challenges ahead of us. And I keep telling myself we've been here before. I come from, before being part of the Two-Spirit and the Digiqueer community, I was part of the HIV community. And I began in the HIV community in the early 90s. And so I told many of my friends their HIV positive test results. And I also buried a lot of my friends, because medication had not reached our communities yet. We've been through this before. We've been through extreme forms of discrimination. We've been with extreme forms of doing wonders with very little. And so I think we're going to need each other more than ever. I'm looking at all the sister organizations. We're going to need each other. And we're going to need to be on a rapid response sometimes to make sure that we can activate ourselves and be there for each other and show up for community when it's needed. And we can't be erased. Period. We just cannot be erased. And we will not be erased. The future, I think it's going to be beautiful, but tough. As long as we connect, we are kind to one another, we agree to disagree, and continue moving forward, I think we will be okay. I just know it. And my prayer, all this last week, it's only been a week and a half, y'all, has been that, that we're going to be okay. As long as, again, as long as we look after one another and as long as we find kindness and love in one another. So thank you again for joining us this evening. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. It's going to be fantabulous. And thank you again, Landa.
Thank you, Anho. All right. Okay, so we had an honor song earlier, and now to honor the works that Gilbert has done within the community, we're going to bring out some youth dancers to dance for Gilbert and Aurora, our allies. All right. At this time, we're going to give away our last raffle prize, so please pull out your raffle tickets now. I'm just kidding. Everyone's like, I didn't get a raffle ticket. Boo. I think we all need a little bit of prayer, don't you? I do. And on a really serious note, I do think that there are many members in our community that need our prayers right now, especially those who are feeling a really hard time, not only with the presidency, but also health issues that might be affected them that kept them from coming here today. So if we could have some kind of collective prayer on that, that would be terrific. And to close us out, we're going to have Andrew. Andrew, come on up here. And he's going to do a prayer for us. But keep all of our relatives in mind. such as Beverly. Keep Beverly in mind. Keep a lot of people in mind during this time.
All right. If you're comfortable, close your eyes just for a minute. Take a breath in and breathe out. Creator, I thank you so much just for the medicine of being here with each other today. Thank you for being able to breathe the same air as my two-spirit relatives, our allies here in this room. I pray for those that maybe are still traveling here, that you would bring them here safely. And I pray for those who aren't able to make it here, whether they've already begun their next journey or they're at home dealing with their own health issues. I pray specifically for Elder Beverly Little Thunder, who's unable to be here, and I ask that you would bring her health and that you would make sure that she feels our prayers and our spirits as we dance on Saturday. Creator, I thank you for the steps that each of us took to bring us here today. Thank you for the miracle of our stories being interwoven over the past 25 years. Creator, I thank you that I was born into a world with the word to spirit. I thank you for all the generations that are here today. And I ask that you would give us dreams and visions for what to do next. For the coming generations, I ask that you would continue to guide our steps so that we would be good relatives. For those of us who are younger, that would become good elders. I thank you for the shoulders of giants that I feel that I stand on. I thank you that our history of togetherness far outstretches the history of this horrid nation. And I ask that you would remind us of that every single day as we go on from this week and weekend, that you would keep our focus, keep our eye just clearly set on what matters and what's important. I pray that you would give us the strength to sit with our discomfort, and that if we ever were to feel comfortable with this administration, then something's gone terribly wrong. I pray for my trans relatives, for any relative who is most vulnerable, given the current climate and all that we're facing. I ask that you would protect them, that you would even give the rest of our communities opportunities to show lateral kindness to each other. And again, that you would just keep us focused on what matters, and not on the little petty things that we can get upset about each and every day. I ask that you would take us from this place here tonight safely, that we'll rest easy and enjoy the rest of our time together. I ask that our words and actions would be medicine to each other. And I ask that you continue to weave and braid our stories together in the days and weeks, years and generations to come. All my relations.
All right. I'm just going to ask everybody to do one last thing for me, okay? We're going to do a Chickasaw thing, all right? So I'm going to ask everybody to please stand. Please stand. This is to acknowledge our directions and so that we can walk in a good way when we leave here. So right now I want everybody to face towards the east. And we're going to make the acknowledgement towards the east, and the east, of course, is going to be for us, for our family, whether it is biological or it is chosen. And we're going to say thank you to them. And in Chickasaw, to say thank you, we say chukmashki, which means to make things beautiful. So say it with me. Chukmashki. 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 Now, towards the south. This is for all those ancestors that came before us, all those who struggled to find their place, all those who were also accepted within their communities. And we say, Chukmashki. 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 And now we're going to face now towards the west. And here in the west, we're going to think about those people who have personally touched our lives in some way that are no longer with us. Their sun has set, and we're going to thank them at this time. Chukmashki. 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 Now face towards the north. And at this time, we're going to bless our future, our path that's going forward. We want it to be done in a beautiful way, and we want it to be done in a good way. So good and beautiful is the same word in Chickasaw. So we say chukmashki. 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 Thank you. For those who are wondering, we do have the hand drum contest tomorrow. It's going to be at the Friendship House. The powwow is going to be at Fort Mason. And we will have a brunch in the mission area on Sunday at 11 a.m. So come on through.